Imagine if we went back in time and gave an NFL team a cheat sheet for the draft, telling them exactly who the best players are in the position they are drafting for the first and second rounds, occasionally giving them a little nudge when it comes to free agency and who they shouldn't let go. What would those teams look like now if they were able to always play the draft perfectly? That's what I'm here to try and answer. Today we're looking at the Jets. Now I feel like in general it's a slightly underwhelming change, although there are some big name changes in certain positions. Some of them they just got bang on right. But let's take a look at them. So on the offensive line, absolutely nothing changes. So we're going to call Ryan Clady our starter at left tackle, James Carpenter, Nick Mangold, Brian Winters, Bruno Giacomini, and that's it on the offensive line. No picks used in the first or second round since 2011 on the offensive line. The first one we do get though is tight end. 2014, the 49th overall pick, so in the second round, they selected Jace Amaro at tight end. And I think CJ Fedorowicz is a better selection, or would have been a better selection. And with that completed, just the one change, we move on to the wide receivers. So Brandon Marshall would still be the number 1 guy, but the number 2 receiver. In 2012, with the 11th pick in the second round, they selected Stephen Hill at wide receiver. Could have been Alshon Jeffrey, and then you've just got yourself the Bears here from a couple of years ago. Then, in the slot position, in 2015, they selected Devin Smith, 37th overall pick in the second round. They could have had Tyler Lockett, another slot guy, Jamison Crowder, or Stephon Diggs. And now you add the other wide receivers that are already on the team. So you add Eric Decker and Quincy Enunwa, and all of a sudden you've got a whole bunch of depth at the position. Running back, no changes there. You'd still have Matt Forte and Bilal Powell. Your fullback will be Tommy Bohannon, and then we come to the quarterback position. Now the best quarterback they would still have available would be, well, that's unless of course you think Bryce Petty or Geno Smith are better. And on the topic of Geno Smith, with the 7th selection in the second round in 2013, the Jets selected Geno Smith at quarterback. And now you may think it's not a great pick because Geno Smith hasn't turned out to be that great. There's pretty much nobody else they could have taken. The only other guy in the NFL pretty much that's close to Geno Smith would be Mike Glennon. So even if the Jets did have a cheat sheet here, they still would have probably ended up picking Geno Smith. And that is the offense. Not much changes except for the crazy change at wide receiver, so we can move on to the defense. And we start with the safeties, and it's an odd one here, because in 2014, with the 18th overall selection, the Jets took Calvin Pryor to play strong safety. Now, we're just calling him a safety. Haha, Clinton Dix would be better. But that would also mean that Marcus Gilchrist or Clinton Dix would have to play strong safety. Now, Gilchrist did play strong safety for the Chargers, so it wouldn't be completely new to him. So that's your choice. Either you take Clinton Dix, who is a better player than Calvin Pryor, no offense to Calvin Pryor, or you stick to your guns with the selection of Calvin Pryor and you've got a better setup in terms of free safety, strong safety, and that's what I'm actually going to do here. So what we have here is Marcus Gilchrist, Calvin Pryor, and Pryor over Clinton Dix is simply a better match for the Jets and the players they already have. So now the linebackers, and we do one of our shouldn't have let him goes here. Let's say they should have held on to Demario Davis. Obviously their actual decision was based on long term rather than short term. We're just looking at short term pretty much here. What's the best team we can build? David Harris would be right behind him there. Slightly unexciting left outside linebacker in Jordan Jenkins, but then we come on to the right outside linebacker. In 2012, with the 16th overall pick, the Jets selected Quinton Coples at defensive end. And now, if I went hardcore defensive end, well, I could still take the guy I'm taking, Chandler Jones, who now plays outside linebacker, or Olivier Vernon was there as well, but I've gone for the outside linebacker. Obviously, the Jets play 3-4. Vernon, when we look at the players they've got, and you can obviously guess because they're the players already on the team, Vernon doesn't really fit into this team that well. And with that said, let's move down to the defensive line, and we start at left end. In 2011, with the 30th overall selection, the Jets took Muhammad Wilkerson. That pick was beyond right, obviously. Onto the right end position in 2015, with the 6th overall pick, the Jets took Leonard Williams. Again, absolutely right, nothing to be said there. Now the defensive tackle position. With the 13th overall pick in 2013, their second selection in the first round, the Jets took Sheldon Richardson at defensive tackle. Obviously, he actually plays defensive end for him, linebacker, he plays anything. However, who they could have had, maybe not a perfect nose tackle, but a pretty good one. Kawan Shaw, I think, would do a pretty good job there in the middle between Leonard Williams and Muhammad Wilkerson. And now the final positions left are the cornerbacks, and we have one draft pick here. In 2013, with the 9th overall pick, the Jets selected D. Milliner. And there's a bunch of guys they could have had here instead. Desmond Trufant, Xavier Rhodes, Darius Slay, Logan Ryan. And let's go Darius Slay here. It was, well, to be fair, I think they'd be happy with any of those. To me, it was between Slay and Rhodes, although Trufant obviously right in there as well. But I go with Darius Slay, big play Slay. Across from him would still be Darrell Revis, in the nickel position would still be Buster Screen, and these are the Jets if they had always picked perfectly. Just only a few changes in here really. The defense has got, what, 2 different players in it, 3 different players in it, one of them was saying they should have kept. The offense obviously has a whole bunch of wide receivers, but the big question is, would this Jets team challenge the Patriots for the AFC East title?